A good story can make or break the way that people think about a certain video. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to write the perfect story for any YouTube video. I'm going to be going through all the specifics and I'm going to teach you all this in a timely manner. Let's not waste any time. Be sure to like and subscribe because I'll be posting every single Sunday here on this channel at 9 p.m. So without any further ado, let's begin. Now, before you even begin scripting this video, you need to know a lot of things because unlike video essays where you could just, begin scripting immediately, this requires a little bit of pre-thought, if you know what I'm saying, before you actually begin scripting, because you need to know exactly what you're talking about, because if you don't know what you're talking about, then you might end up screwing something up in the scripting process. So here is exactly what I like to do before I tell a story. First things first, I get out a journal. A journal is really, really good for many reasons. Or you can just open up a Google Doc or, like a Word document or something along those lines, and I want you to jot down as much as you can that you know about the story. These should be separate points about the story that you know this. What I mean by points is this. Let me show you. So this right here is what I meant by that. It was a little bit hard to interpret me when I was saying that, but this is kind of what I meant here. This is a story on how I save my chickens. If you know me, you're kind of familiar with this story. If you don't, I'm not gonna waste your time. You can pause the video if you want to learn about the story. But this is literally everything. I made this back in June of this year. I did a little bit of modifications because, my writing is literally incompetent until I write my script and, proofread it. But this is not proofread at all. This is just kind of writing down my thoughts and how the story played out. The target length I added this tonight, it says 1 to 2 minutes. That's how long I wanted to target this for. So if I could write down 10 key points for a 1 to 2 minute long story, I'll show you the script in just a minute. But if this is how much I could write down for just 1 to 2 minutes, imagine how long I could write down for an 8-minute story. I would be able to write down at least 40 or 50 key points to the story. So this is just an example right here, and I'll show you guys the script in just a minute. And now I'm about to be providing you with some good scripting advice for these types of videos. First things first, in the script, you should expand on what you were saying in that document or journal entry that you just made. Now, here is exactly how I want you to write the script. So I want you to write it in a way that's easy for everybody to understand, because if you write a script so that way you can understand it, there's a good chance that only you will be able to understand it, unless you're targeting an extremely specific audience, which most times you're trying to not target an extremely specific audience. You're trying to target a more broader audience. And if they can't understand the script, then there's a really good chance they're not going to understand what you're saying. So you need to write that script in a way where everybody will understand. Now, I'm about to share with you the script that I wrote for that video. And by the way, it was actually in July, not June. I love correcting myself when I'm recording this. But anyways, let's jump into that. Let me show you that real quick. So this right here is exactly what I wrote down for the script. Now, this part is actually from a massive video back in July. And this right here is actually the first story I told in that video. So this right here is the entire script. As you guys can see, this was about, I'd say, 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes long. I'll have to double check with the actual video how long it was, but this right here is exactly what I was talking about. So as you can see, I went into detail here, but as you guys can see, it's still fairly easy to understand this. Here, you can pause the video right here to read this if you want to, but if you don't, this is the rest of it, if you're actually trying to read this, but oh well. This whole thing right here is exactly what those 8 points are. The only difference being that it's expanded to a way. Now, the vocabulary I used here is easy to understand and at a reading level where pretty much anybody can understand exactly what I'm saying here. And I'm setting up the scene in such a way where I could, tell the story in a very clear manner. Now, this was actually, I only recently got into telling stories for videos, so nowadays, if I were to write a story for a video I'm telling, I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to try a little bit harder than this, but obviously this is something I made a while ago, so I'm still getting better at this, but this is just the first example that I'm talking about right now. Now I'm about to be providing you guys with some basic editing advice. Now, as you guys know, the way I edit videos is a little bit complicated, so I kind of have to save that for next week. But don't worry guys, turn on notifications and you guys will see that video at 9 p.m. Eastern time next Sunday. Now here's the thing with editing these types of videos. The storytelling videos need to have some form of a consistent, simple editing, but there's two types of people that like watching these storytelling videos. There's the first person that just likes watching the videos for the sake of it, and then there's the second person who watches these videos in the background. So if you're trying to hear somebody talking about how their chicken was almost killed by a raccoon a couple months ago, then you kind of want to like optimize it for both things. And another thing that's really important with these videos is your choice of music, because if your music choice, and like you're talking about how your chicken almost died and you use some like really chill lo-fi beats that makes it sound like you're walking into a coffee shop, then yeah, there's like a really good chance that nobody's going to take that video seriously. But if you're using your music accordingly, then you could do that. Now there's a couple good sources to find free music. You could use the YouTube audio library. You won't get copyrighted for that. Or you could also check out my music channel at King Chicken Music. Link is down in the description below. That's a shameless plug, and I'll never do that again. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. But you need to make sure that your music choice is really good, because music kind of makes or breaks the quality of the video. Because if I'm using some like incredibly loud, angry dubstep music in the background of a video that's supposed to be talking about a chill topic, ain't no one gonna take that seriously. So just a reminder that music does truly matter in this situation. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this video. Be sure to leave feedback on my new editing style in the comments below. I'll be improving for the next video. Anyways guys, be sure to click the video on the screen right now, which is a video from back in June, and I'll see you guys in that one. Bye.